Hello YouTube, my name's Sean Connors and welcome back to Outsiders, and today we do the live draw, and here we go now with this draw. What I've done, I've taken the liberty of putting all the names in a hat, everybody's name. There's 20 names, and what this means is we're going to have 4 rounds total to reach the final. Round 1 will consist of a straight 2-on-2, 10 matches. Round 3 will consist of 5 matches, 2-on-2. Then on the third round before the final, there'll be a match of 3. So there'll be 3 people fighting it out for the 1 spot to the final, and 2 people fighting it out for the 1 spot to the final. It's the easiest way of breaking down 20. And then we will have our 2 finalists. So one will have a slightly, theoretically more difficult route, but I think it's quite interesting, whichever way you look at it. So, without further ado, we go for the live draw. I've also graded the combatants based on 5 things, which is stats, damage, saving throws, versatilities, and knockout capability. Now, I'm going to tell you too much about that, but I've graded them from A through to E in each category. So it's going to be pretty difficult to get an A grade. Equally, it's going to be pretty difficult to get an E, but you are going to be left with a feeling about who's got the slightly better chance. So it's just a bit of fun, really. It doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't mean that even if you ended up with the worst grade, it doesn't mean you won't win, because there are a lot of unknown factors to take into consideration in this. Now, a couple of things for you to be aware of before I do the draw. I'm still not going to show you the arena where you'll be fighting in the first round. What I've decided that we will do is as follows, that I'm going to conduct these fights, because there's going to be 10 of them, over 3 days. Tomorrow there will be 4 fights taking place tomorrow, which will be the first 8 names out of the hat, if you like, and each name that I pull out will face the next person, and so on. So the 3rd person will face the 4th, the 5th person will face the 6th, and so on all the way down the list. Then there will be a couple of days' grace. We will know it in that stage as well. We'll do the draw, but will be a couple of days' grace. And what you'll be able to do is you'll know who your opponent is, and you will have a couple of days to not so much heal up, that will be automatic, but you'll be able to change things with the character slightly. So, for example, you're able to change in some equipment you might have. So if there's something you want to change out, you'd only get half the value for it, but I'm allowing you to do that so that you can adapt to the opponents you've got to make this as interesting, as tight a fight as you want. If you don't have time to submit any information, that's fine. You just go in as you are. If you're happy, great. So I thought I'd add that in there. A couple of factors about the arena which you will not be aware of before we get into the draw, and those are as follows. First thing is the arena. The first arena is filled with 2 inches of sand on top of concrete, so you need to be aware of this, and it's important. It's an Emperor decision. It was already predetermined before you rolled up your characters. Emperor's reasoning: he doesn't like boring fights. He likes people to be thinking out of the box. He likes to catch the combatants off guard. And the second factor about the arena is if anybody should leave the arena area for whatever reasons, it is 60 by 60 grid, as will become obvious, quite an interesting arena, then you are automatically disqualified. So, and nothing can be changed on those characters right now, so that will make certain skills and abilities and certain things you do incredibly interesting and useful in this situation, but I didn't want to tell you anything about it for obvious reasons, so it's all fair for all. So without further ado, the draw. Now, the 20 names are in this hat, and they are all in here. Don't know if you'll see it all. And without further ado, let's see who we've got out of the bag. First off, we have Jose Samuel is your character. Jose Samuel, come back to that. You are going to be fighting. Let's have a look. What do we got? Jose is fighting Madison Shine. Madison Shine. Excellent. Let's quickly take a peek at this. This may have to be done in 2 parts, but Jose is a C- grade and Madison is a C, so it's very tight. So Madison has the edge in the first fight. Secondly, now we have the second fight is led by Manuel Rain. Manuel Rain, I probably got upside down, there we go. And he is going to be, or she, I do apologise, is going to be fighting Edward Henry. So that's the second fight. Manuel's grade, as given by the Emperor, is a D grade, I'm afraid, for Manuel. There were a number of things the Emperor was not happy with, but that means nothing. And Edward as grade, let me just see, Edward. Typical, isn't it? When you've got a very simple thing to do and you can't even find it. Ah, there we are, Edward. Also a D grade. So it couldn't be a better fight. Very even. The Emperor's happy with that. Likes to see the underdog with a chance. That's good. So let's have a look who's out of the bag. Now we've got Jonathan, Mr. Min-Max. Very great, really good name. Very good name. And he is going to be fighting John or Khan. John Khan, the character named John. Brilliant. And Jonathan's character, Jonathan is Jonathan. Jonathan is a C+, and John's character Khan is a C. So in this case, Jonathan's character edges it, but it's an incredibly close fight. Now we have out of the bag in our fourth fight contender, we have Devon or Doln. Devon. I'm beginning to know Devon quite well, actually, or artistic. Never remember the rest of the name, but I'm getting there. So very good, interesting. Devon or Doln, and Devon's grade is C, and we're up against Jim or Villain. I may have wrote this down wrong, but that's the character. It's Jim Villain, which is, let's find out. So you're playing Doln. Well, Doln's a C, and Jim Villain is a C. So nice even fight like that. The Emperor's very happy about this. This is all looking good. Let's go a big old shake up in here. Let's see what we got. We got Daniel with Marlowe. It's Daniel with Marlowe. We've got screaming in the background. It's probably because some people are upset with the fighting order, but that's the way life goes. Devon or Marlowe versus Donovan or Johnny Come Lately. Another great name. Now, Daniel with Marlowe. Let's have a look. Daniel with Marlowe is a C grade, and Johnny Come Lately is a B grade. Johnny's one of the hard hitters here. Johnny's one of those people that he's the favourite without doubt. He may have come lately, but he could be one of those that stays to the end. So let's have a look. What else have we got in the bag here? We've got Jared with the unnamed hero. I did like that. It was quite good. Gerard's character, the unnamed hero, is a B-, good grade character. Now, who's he going to be facing off against here? We've still got some pretty good characters to come out of the bag. We've got Todd or Roderick. And let's have a look. So Jared, the unnamed hero, is B-, and Todd or Roderick is also a B-. Two heavy hitters in the bag. I'm liking that. That's good. That really will thin out the wood from the trees. So we've already had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights already called. 7 minutes in on the video, looking good. We've got Chris with Theodore. Chris is up against Theodore. He's a B- grade, and let's find out who's going to fight here in this battle royale. Oh, we don't know. So that's interesting. So I dropped him back in. That could be good news. It's interesting that. Oh, I do apologise. There's the person that fell out first. So there we go. Fabio was the first name that fell out. I do apologise, Fabio. Fabio, who's fallen out. So it's Chris or Theodore versus Fabio. Chris, as I said, is a B-. Fabio is... Now, he's also quite an interesting kettle of fish. Fabio. Where are you, Fabio? Fabio with Giorgio. Fabio with Giorgio, C. Chris has the edge with Theodore. Now, will we find that character that was there? No, we won't. So it's now Ryan with Felix. I don't know if you can read that. I hope so. Ryan with Felix is out next. And Ryan with Felix is a C-grade character. Let me just pop those down for a second and move all the combatants up in order so I get a little bit of room here because I'm running out of room rapidly. And we are 8 minutes 20 into the vid, and it is getting interesting. We are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Ryan with Felix is going to be the 8 combatants out of the bag, and who is he going to face here? Ryan is facing Chris with Jag. So Ryan versus Chris. Felix versus Jag. Now, Ryan is, as I said, Ryan is a C grade, and Chris is Jag. I think he's on the other side. Is a B-. So Chris has the favour. Chris, you are the favourite in that fight. And then we have Derek, Sir Atricum, my dear friend Lycan 101, fight 9. There's a heavy hit to come. He hasn't found him. He's got Jay Rice. I hope this is Jerry Rice, actually. Esteban. Jay Rice Esteban, so it's B. Now, Derek's character was a C- grade, Derek, and Jay Rice, Mr. Right, Jerry, I'm going to call him, Esteban is a B. Now, he's a clear favourite here. No disrespect intended, but you will be the underdog in this fight. And that leaves us 2 names in the hat, which is Andrew the Last Laugh and facing off against Jared or Sade. So Andrew the Last Laugh versus Jared. Now, Andrew's character is the favourite overall, ironically enough, in this tournament. On grade. Only on grade. So well done for your design. It's got a very interesting channel. If you haven't checked it out, look at some of his videos. I'll put a link on at the bottom. And we've got Jared with Sade. Now, Jared with Sade is a B minus. So it's a very close battle. It should be classic. So we have 10 minutes on the video. Let us quickly wrap this up and come back with a second video, which will cover off a little bit about why they were great the way they were. Anyway, our order of fights are as follows, just to recap it very quickly. Jose versus Madison, that's Samuel versus Shine. Manuel versus Edward, that's Rain versus Henry. Jonathan Minmax versus John with Khan. Devon, whose character is Dolan, versus Jim, which is Villain. Those are the first day combatants. Day 2. Daniel Marlowe's character, which his character's name is Marlowe, versus Donovan, and his character's name is Johnny. We've got Jared, the unnamed hero, versus Todd / Roderick. And we've got Chris, whose character is Theodore, versus Fabio, whose character is Giorgio. That will be day 2. And then day 3, we will have Ryan, which his character's name is Felix, versus Chris, which his name is Jag. Then we have Derek's Atrium versus Jay Rice, Esteban. And then finally, we have Andrew, Last Laugh, and Jared versus Sardi. Those last 3 will be on day 3. There will then be a draw video and chance over 2 days before we do any more for you to make subtle changes, as I've suggested at the beginning of this video. Anyway, this has been the draw for the Gladiator Challenge, the Killer Touch. Thank you for all those that entered or attempted to enter. Some of you didn't make past the entry point for lots of reasons. I apologise. I did my very best to keep bouncing emails to you and make it clear if I was encountering any problems with your characters. Other than that, thank you for attempting to do it. This was only the beginning. It's very good to get that many names in. We did have a lot more, but a lot didn't make it through the process. So I appreciate the 20 that have made it in, and a few that have stayed as reserves. Very appreciated. Particularly one character must be mentioned, which is Stevens, who created somebody called, which is one of the best fighter names I've ever seen in my life, Sherman the Tank. I love that name. It brings up a lot of interesting images. So thanks for staying as a reserve. Anyway, I've been Sean Connors. This has been Outsiders, the beginning of the Killer Touch. Let's see what comes. Anyway, till the fights, the Emperor says goodbye. All the best to you all. Happy gaming, and see you next time. Bye-bye.